people. Here we go. Some news headlines. Let's go. Hey, go, people. This is a funny case. I mean, it's not funny if this dude goes out there and kills people. So we have this little correctional officer who was promoted to assistant director. She was the second person in charge of the facility, and she sells her home for $90,000 when the value was $207,000. She sells it a few days before she finagles this escape, moves in with her mom, buys an AR and a shotgun, gets her patrol car, and picks up a freaking murderer who stabbed a woman to death during a burglary home invasion. He's facing a capital crime. And this idiot falls in love with Rick. She's an empowered, strong woman, and she can do any job a man can do, and they're all great. And how dare you? I mean, look, I guarantee you, people, when they catch her, she is going to be the victim. They're already saying she was a model employee. She violated so many freaking rules and continue to violate them, and they're still saying she was a model employee. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, the things on this is just freaking amazing. So here's a press release by the sheriff. I'm gonna talk you through a few things, kind of like what's going on behind the scenes, what he's not saying, and you know, I'll just give you my evaluation from doing a lot of manhunts. So here we go.
The patrol car parked at the intersection of Huntsville Road and Cox Street Parkway, which is about 2. We see the patrol car parked at the intersection of...
I'm not sure why this started in the middle, but that's where it started. Sorry.
Huntsville Road and Cox Street Parkway, which is about 2 blocks from the location it was found. That video was time-stamped at 9:49 a.m.
Okay, so they know they found the patrol car that she made the escape in, and they know the time, but they're not saying how long it took them to find the car. If it took them a day, 2 days, 6 hours, 8 hours, they're not saying, because you can kind of estimate how far someone got by the number of time, and they're suspiciously leaving out everything about how long it took to know that it was that she escaped.
Director White and Casey White left the detention center at 9:41 a.m. So that's 8 minutes time span. What that tells us is that the patrol car left the detention center and went straight to the parking lot.
Okay, so that's good. Now, again, we have to approach this on the premise. I don't believe this for a second, but when you're doing an investigation, you kind of got to rule out that this guy didn't overpower her, take her gun, and hold her gun to her head and make her do all this. Now, there's all kind of things that says that didn't happen, but I guarantee you when they catch her, it's going to be, I was scared of him. He told me he'd do to my mom what he did to this other woman. I'm a helpless female. It's not my fault. How, you know, it's the same old thing. They're always empowered when we're giving them jobs they shouldn't have and when we're promoting them when they shouldn't get promoted. And then when they fail, it's like, oh, it's not my fault. You know, I'm a woman. Okay.
There was not enough time for them to even attempt to try to come to the courthouse and then get out there and be at that red light 8 minutes later. So the direction of travel was from the courthouse, from the detention center directly.
I don't know, in case I forget it, I'm thinking about it now. When she is driving in her getaway car after she dumped the patrol car, she drove by a congressman or councilman who was doing a rally, and he recognized her and waved. Evidently, she's worked for the department for 17 years. She's about to retire, but we'll get to all that. Here we go.
Out Huntsville Road to Cox Creek and then to the Florence Square shopping parking lot. The other thing that I want to make you aware of today is that we have had a warrant issued.
Man, these two little red lights here almost look like little horns. What's up with that? All right, hang on. I digress.
For Director Vicky White. To make you aware of today is that we have had a warrant issued.
Okay, when they say they issued a warrant for her, and this is for her, Vicky White.
For Director Vicky White.
Director. They're still calling her director. Director Vicky White. Okay, when they do an arrest warrant, that means they have probable cause to believe she committed a crime. They have to articulate that probable cause. They have to run it by the DA, and then a judge has to sign it. So there's a big difference between an arrest warrant and we have probable cause to arrest her. When they say we have probable cause, that means they haven't gone through the official procedure of running it by the DA and having a judge sign off. A warrant gives cops more authority to do more things. We can kick doors, we can chase. It's a felony warrant. It gives us a lot more authority. When we just have PC to arrest, we can't do any of that. So the fact that they've issued a warrant, they obviously have articulable facts that they laid out that they're not sharing on why they know she committed a crime and should be arrested for that crime.
The charges are permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. That's Alabama Code 13A 2034. So there is an active warrant out for Miss White.
Why wouldn't somebody put a copy of the warrant? I mean, this digital age, I don't understand why they don't release these warrants, these search warrants. You get more eyes looking at it. I'm going to go through this, and when I go to the US Marshal site, they put the wrong freaking weight on this guy. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give them a tip on how to correct the weight and show you how much freaking trouble it is just to give a tip.
Obviously, for Casey White, so we're in hopes that we'll get some much-needed breaks here in the next few hours.
Of course you need some breaks, because you guys fucked it up because you're government. Because you let this woman run around and you promoted her assistant director. You know she was having a relationship with him. They've been having a relationship for 2 years. All the other inmates knew that she was giving him extra food and he was getting extra benefits. She transported him by herself, violating the rules when it's supposed to be 2 people. And you guys all look the other way, and they're all justifying, well, nobody's going to question her. She's a supervisor, or why should we question her? That's the problem with yes men and team players. That's why I didn't trust them. That's why I was never a yes man and a team player. Either we follow the rules or we don't. Don't give me this shit. I'm in charge. I don't have to justify. I can do it because I'm the... No, fuck that shit. So this is how the failure of government happens. You get nepotism. You hire family, friends. Everybody's in the good old boy system, and nobody wants to call anybody out for doing bad shit because I'm too concerned about being a team player.
Hours, few days that will help us locate them and get them back here to Lauderdale County and get Casey White, especially behind bars. Casey White, as you've heard me say over and over, is an extremely dangerous person, and we need to get him located and get him off the street.
Yeah, you need to get him located because you had him in custody. Now look, Casey White, and criminals do this a lot. If they know they're facing life and they're in a federal pen and they can't escape, they confess to another crime in another jurisdiction and know that that jurisdiction is going, hey, we want to get a stat for this. If he confessed, man, that's an easy conviction. Let's send him back here. We'll put him in our county jail. We'll take him to court each day. We'll give him all these new opportunities to escape only so we can get a stat for another conviction. And that's exactly what he did.
So again, thank you for all your help in that. At this time, I want to issue to the US Marshal for the Northern District of Alabama, Marty Keeley.
Okay, this is where he says what a great job he is and how we're all partners and how we're working together and how wonderful and great government is, because when government has unlimited money and we can get federal money and state money and local money and a lot more people and then a lot more resources, and then we can claim victory at the end because a citizen called in a tip and told us where he was at.
Marty's, as I said, his fugitive task force has been a tremendous asset to us, not only in this case, but in cases over the years. And
tremendous asset, tremendous.
We appreciate all their assistance and help.
We appreciate it. You know why these agencies appreciate help? Because it boils down to money and manpower and overtime. If we get the feds involved, the feds will pay for overtime. If we get the feds involved, they will have us resources we can't. If we get the feds involved, they can use, because they have reaches all over the state and they've taken over every state. Now we have all the other states that have to cooperate with us because the feds are there. That's why most agencies like when the feds get in charge. I liked it because of the resources and bodies, and it gave me more resources, but I didn't like it because it's usually a big waste of money, and that's all they do is sit around with federal money that they steal from taxpayers, and then they give it out. Kind of like we just gave another $30 billion to Ukraine. But I digress.
Marty, Mr. Marshal.
Thank you, Sheriff. I just want to add that the Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force, U.S. Marshal Service Gulf Coast Task Force.
Anytime they say task force, that's usually multi-agency. Normally, I bet you on this task force, they have the sheriff, they have the police department, they have the correctional officer, they have a parole officer. Just like, you know, the task force that I worked on, we always had multiple agencies. That way you get more jurisdictions, more money, you pool your resources, and then you can go to all these counties. Because if you just have your own guy working it in your county, he has to get a bunch of other bodies to help him go do this. If you're in a task force, You got to go help them, and they got to come help you. So that's why task forces are pretty popular. The problem is they're usually a big waste and money grab, and, you know, it's pretty skate duty. Most cops like being on task forces because it's pretty good duty.
Assisting the sheriff and his deputies in this investigation. They've been a partner of the Marshal Service for many years now.
Partner. We're all partners. Everybody's partners because we're government. We're all partners against you pesky citizens because we got unlimited money. And if we need more money, we'll just tax the shit out of you pesky taxpayers.
I would like to emphasize that this case is now a major case for the United States Marshal Service, which
if you go to their website, he's the first guy listed. I can't believe it. He's right on the front page if you go to usmarshals.gov.
help to facilitate the reward for information, up to $10,000 for information.
Yeah.
The public to keep in mind that Casey White is a large individual. He is 6 feet 9 inches.
This is a really big thing that they're not really emphasizing. He's the only guy that's brought this up. And this is really huge. 6'9". He's going to stand out in the crowd. He is a tall dude. She's 5 foot, I think 5'5". Standing next to him, you know, it's frickin' frack, little bitty, you know, it's going to be an easy pair, which is why he's going to have to get rid of her. She is a drag to him now. She got him out, but now she's a drag. She's going to be crying and whining and wanting her mom and wanting to love him and don't want to do this. And if you love me, this. She is going to be a drag. He's got her out here. She sold her house. She gave him money. He's free. She gave him her guns. She gave him her shotgun and AR because they're missing and she just bought it. So she's armed him. He's on the run. His odds of not getting caught is much better if he doesn't have her dragging around because everybody's looking for him and her as a partner. He's more likely to blend in. So it's more likely for him to dump her. And if he dumps her because she knows the plan, he doesn't want to witness. And he's already facing life in capital crime. He's already got life. He's just facing the death penalty for what he was going to this jail for. Now he's escaping. What has he got to lose? So if he's smart, I'm not encouraging violence or telling people to. I'm just telling you, as a criminal, the way they think, if they're smart, I'm not leaving a witness. I'm killing her, burying her. They'll still be looking for her, which will take up resources, and then I can be doing my own thing.
Tall. You know, there is the possibility that he's changed his identity as far as his looks, but he will stand out at 6 feet 9 inches.
Yeah, he ain't changing that height, and I think he's got hazel eyes. He's a big dude. Now, he's 220, and he looks 220, but like I said, on the website, they got him listed as 330. I don't think he's 330.
So I'm going to emphasize that to the public. Again, that information or any information about this case can be reported to 911, and that is the way you should report it. You shouldn't try to approach either one of these individuals. We consider both of them dangerous, and in all probability, both individuals are armed.
He said in all probability. I didn't know a lot of this information when I first watched this. I was like, dude, she's a cop on duty, carrying a freaking gun, working for the sheriff's department. She's got a shotgun in her car. You know if they took the shotgun out of the car or if she had an AR in the car. When they first said he was armed with an AR shotgun, I kind of went, they probably took those out of the car. Then I watched another report and it said, no, she had just bought a shotgun and an AR. And those guns are missing. So she brought them to her mom's house after she sold her house. She got 90 grand cash. She thinks she's rich. She's a 53-year-old fucking idiot. She threw away her retirement. She put in her retirement papers and never finished. The day she broke him out was the day she was supposed to have her out briefing and her retirement was going to start. If you get retirement, you got to have a bank account. You got to have an address. I don't know what the hell she was thinking. She wasn't thinking. She got involved with this freaking idiot who killed and stabbed a woman, and somehow she thinks he's a good guy to break out of prison and throw her whole life away. Man, she's a strong, empowered woman, Rick. She's assistant director. How dare you say that she's not smart? Okay, whatever.
Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, at this time, I'll be glad to take a few questions. And my media policy for the year that I was chief of police in Florence and a sheriff has been, it's on the table, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there's an investigative or legal...
This guy seems like he's giving most of the information, but he's the sheriff. He's, when we're working cases, the investigators that are working a case, they know all the facts. And when he's doing a press release or somebody wants to go out there and get in front of the camera, they say, hey, give me a fact sheet on this case. So we write down pertinent information, kind of key facts, and we give it to him. And he reads it. And he's like, great. He's not reading the reports. He's not interviewing people. He doesn't know the ins and outs of the investigation. He doesn't know the different things that we're doing as far as tracking and notices and all. He just knows basically what the investigators tell him. So when these guys don't have answers, that's why.
The reason I can't answer your question, I'll let you know.
Sheriff, I'll remote that news to you.
Yes.
What was the interaction between the two in that surveillance video that you saw?
Actually, the video was not clear. It was from a distance and really couldn't make out any individuals per se, but we definitely know it was a patrol car.
Was he seated in the back of the patrol car or the front?
From the video camera footage we have, we can't tell, but I'm sure he was probably in the back. He was in the back when he left the jail. You know, to stop on the side of the road, all those roads are heavily traveled. Someone would have seen something and suspected something.
So some of the problems with this is, do they have GPS on cars? Do they know the route it took? Since they're finding a video of them driving by a gas station, that's how it seems like they're trying to determine what route they took. They found the patrol car parked in a parking lot. That's where they switched cars and got into the little red car. I'll show the picture later. And so that they kind of know they switched cars. That shows planning. She bought the car from a local lot the day before this. Then she parked it on where she drove the patrol car and switched cars. That all shows pre-planning. She's doing it. She's the money. She got him out. Everything says this is planned. This wasn't, you know, she was scared of him and he forced her, which she will say when she's caught, if she's caught alive. My odds of her being caught alive is slim to none, and Slim's leaving town.
So we're assuming he remained in the back seat until they arrived at the parking lot.
Was he handcuffed when he went into the patrol car?
He was handcuffed and shackled.
And they've got the video of him handcuffed and shackled. But the only reason he was handcuffed and shackled is because she didn't want to set off alarms when she was busting him out of jail. She played like she was taking him to court. He didn't have a court appearance. She wasn't supposed to be transporting by herself. She walks out of the jail in front of him and just it treats this guy. She's been giving him extra food. They know there's late shift. I mean, the failure of this guy's department is so huge, and they never address it. Everything is smooth over here, like she's just a really great employee, and that's why nobody questioned her, and that's why she was able. That's why you don't have this favoritism shit, and just because somebody in charge, they don't get to violate the rules. This escape tells me that this jail is run like every other law enforcement agency. Special rules for special people. If they like you, you can do what you want. If they don't like you, they hold you accountable with policy and write you up.
We have gotten some tips, and of course we're following every lead we get. You know, we've had some tips. I think I've let y'all know we've gotten a couple of tips on a possible vehicle. We're still pursuing that, trying to get a positive confirmation on a possible vehicle they switched into.
So I don't know if I would have released this. So I think I would have just left it as tips. If I was an investigator, I was like, dude, why did you tell them they switched vehicles? Now they know we switched vehicles, and they're going to fucking switch vehicles again. We had a tip on what vehicle they switched to, and now you just said on a freaking press. And look, when these guys escape, they're always watching these things. They want to know what the cops, they like hearing their name. Yeah, they ain't going to catch me. Fuck them. They don't know shit. You know, sometimes that's why I don't even, you can even put out fake information and say, yeah, we have reason to believe he's heading to Mexico when we know he's heading toward Canada. And then they relax. And they're like, man, they think we're going to Mexico. Shit, we got it made. And then they relax. So sometimes you would put out misinformation. I'm not saying he's doing that, but
yes, we've gotten some information that's been helpful.
Have you been able to get in contact with his family so far?
We have.
Sheriff, Matt from Channel 31 here. You know, a lot of people here, of course, are following this, but there's folks across the country that are also following this. With the lead time that they had to get out ahead of this thing.
So this guy asked what's the lead time they had. He doesn't really question that. He doesn't really answer that.
Hours are important. What have you done to work with folks along the borders and airlines to make sure that maybe they didn't slip through those cracks?
No. We have not, to my knowledge, unless the task force has, and I'm not aware, been in touch with Canada or Mexico.
That's a good answer. He said we have not, and he corrected it, unless that I have knowledge of, because he doesn't know everything that's going on. Even though he's a sheriff and people think he should know and he ought to know, and nobody can keep up with every investigations are very, you know, lots of tentacles going in a lot of different directions, and unless you're working a case, nobody knows the case better than the guy working it.
Borders or their countries. He did not have any identification with him. That's not to say he couldn't obtain some kind of identification.
That is a really good deal. He doesn't have identification, but because he's so tall, he's not going to be IDing anyway. He's thinking that he can't get across the border without identification. Hey, Sheriff, we got 200,000 people a month in Texas walking across the freaking border. You think him not having identification means he can't leave the country? That makes you an idiot. Rick, you can't call. I don't know if the guys, I'm just saying, look, it's freaking easy to get out of the country if you want to get out. Jump on a freaking boat at any freaking beach and sail away.
False identification, but he certainly needs identification to cross those borders.
He's an idiot. You don't need identification. If you follow the law and go through the checkpoints, you may need ID. We kind of have a history of this guy not giving shit about the laws, but
to my knowledge, we have not reached out to those countries.
Sheriff, the surveillance video, new video of the intersection, will that be released?
Actually, we viewed it. We don't have a copy of it right now.
Any timetable for that?
Yeah, the company or the business that has the video, they have to bring their text in to download it and all that, so we haven't had time to get a copy. Well, the protocols were in place. We have a policy.
See, look how he goes this. Protocols were in place. Well, that's great they're in place. Obviously, they aren't being fucking enforced. She's bringing them extra food. You got protocols for that? Oh, she was a model employee. She was assistant director. She's a great person. She's a wonderful girl. We all loved her. We're all sad. We just can't believe that she could be manipulated by this guy. See, it's not even her fault now. You'll notice if you read any articles about this, they're still making her the poor victim. This freaking woman used her government authority and access to official government thing to make a guy escape who killed a woman and who was in custody, facing life, facing a capital crime, and she worked on getting him out and used her official capacity to do that. And people are still saying she was a great woman. Are you freaking kidding me?
It required two deputies to transport. This was, again, lends us to believe how it was orchestrated because we had two vans of inmates leave just minutes before Director White had Casey White brought up front. Both those vans had two deputies on them. One had 5 inmates, the other had 7 inmates. Minutes after the second van left, Director White instructed another corrections deputy to bring Casey White up, prepare him for transport. That's when they put the handcuffs and the shackles on him as is customary and protocol. She informed...
Oh, we follow that protocol. We put shackles and handcuffs on him. We follow that protocol. Well, that's great.
The booking officer that she was the only available person that was certified to carry arms to transport, so she was going to bring him to the courthouse, drop him off to the other deputies, and then go to a medical appointment. So, that's why I'm sure that the booking officer didn't question it. She, after all, is her boss, and she coordinates all the transport.
Oh, of course not. You can't question anybody, even though they're violating protocol, even though we have protocols in place, even though you just let a fucking murderer escape because you got so lax policies with your freaking promoting a freaking woman that's freaking planning this shit, that sells her house and has all these. Now, look, they don't know. They knew she was going to retire. Probably now when somebody's going to retire, they're probably going to maybe keep an eye on them for a while at this jail. No one else will do anything. Every government is just incompetent as these guys. These guys aren't the only ones.
So, that's sort of how that transpired. Yes,
So is your investigation going with now that there's a warrant? Are you going with now more that she could possibly be involved? That he didn't coerce her, threaten her against her will? Is that still a possibility?
That he threatened her? We know she participated.
Right.
We know she participated. Hell yeah. She freaking participated because she freaking used her gun. She walked him out. She dumped the police car. She bought a car. She set the car up in the parking lot before. She drove the police car there with the prisoner, and then they both got in that car, and now they're both missing. Hell yes, she participated. But Rick, maybe he was threatening her and it wasn't her fault. Okay.
If she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in this escape, not really sure, but we know for sure she did participate,
You don't get a warrant for someone that you're not sure didn't participate. You don't go out and swear under oath to a judge and get a signed arrest warrant on somebody that you think didn't participate. Otherwise, you just freaking lied under oath.
Video still released for his most recent appearance. Is that what we can expect them to look like now with the crew cut, not the photo cut?
That photo was taken in the halls of the detention center Tuesday before they left on Friday. We're reviewing video footage.
I'm not sure how much.
Let me get.
Oh, so you feel betrayed at all with the way this is played out?
Well, absolutely. If she did this willingly, those of us who work with Vicky White and have worked with her for years, this is not the Vicky White we know.
Oh my God, here we go. Now, this isn't that we have a hiring problem and we have a retention problem and we didn't pay attention to her because she's a woman and we promoted her because she's a woman and we let her do what she wants because she's a woman and nobody held her accountable because she's a woman. And this is not the Vicky White we know. We all loved her. Perfect. Makes you all fucking idiots.
By any stretch of the imagination. She has been an exemplary employee.
Exemplary. She's giving prisoners extra food. She's carrying on a relationship, puts in her papers, helps a murderer escape. She's an exemplary employee. I don't understand that. This is shocking. Government's always shocked when they find out how fucked up they are.
I was told by the director of the jail that Friday night it was like he was at a funeral wake. The employees are just devastated that she was involved in this, and they're concerned for her safety.
Oh, we're concerned for her. She sold her house, put in for retirement, staged a car, bought a car, dumped a patrol car, and took off with a guy, and they're concerned about her. If I was working, where would I be? Fuck that bitch. I hope he kills her ass, stupid ass.
As are we, and we just hope that this has a good ending.
Not that I would ever encourage violence or want anybody to get hurt. This is a peaceful channel.
Her retirement of better than 16 years, right?
Yes, she'd been talking about retiring for 3 or 4 months, and
Yeah, 3 or 4 months. She's been seeing a guy for 2 years. She's been sneaking him food for a few months. Yeah, of course, 3 or 4 months. Yeah.
and they've done some things. She did sell her home about a month ago, and talked about going to the beach.
Sell her home a month ago. Sold it for 90 grand when it was worth 200 grand. Bought an AR and a shotgun when she was retiring to go to the beach.
That's just, everybody thought she was going to retire. Nobody saw this coming.
Nobody saw it coming. They always say that shit. Victims say that shit when they're a victim. I never expected it. I didn't see it coming. Government, every time they fuck up royally, nobody saw it coming. We had policies in place. Yeah, but if you got policies and you don't enforce them, what the hell good is the policy? That's what I've been screaming about all this time with the cops shooting and killing people. We have laws that says you can't shoot people unless you're in fear of your life, and these cops just run around and they say we're in fear of our life and nobody enforces it. It doesn't matter if you have laws if you don't enforce it, and it doesn't matter if you have policies if you don't enforce it and you allow people to violate it.
I'm sorry?
Did you yet have an effective date of retirement?
She was retired that day. That was to be her last day at work.
So her last day at work, she decides to take out a convicted murderer for capital crime, violate policy, not use 2 deputies, have him brought down after a van that could have transported him took off, and nobody says boo. Wow. Nobody even says, hey, congratulations on your retirement day. I can't believe you're working today. How many people on their last day of work, of retirement, actually do work? I'm telling you, I ain't never seen nobody on their last day of retirement do freaking work. It is a turn in your shit, nobody gives a shit, have a good time, have cake. Nobody goes out and takes a freaking prisoner by herself, violates policy on their last day of work. Nobody saw this coming, Rick. She was such an exemplary employee, and she was director. Nobody could question her. Okay? That's why the guy escaped. Freaking idiots.
That's questionable.
Yeah, now, over here.
So
Yes, ma'am.
we know that he tried to escape a few times, but when did he move to escape?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
We know he had
On February the 25th. He has pending charges here for capital murder. There were some court proceedings scheduled between February the 25th and the end of May. He was brought here for those court appearances.
Okay, so he was in for 75 years and being held at a state prison. But because he admitted to committing this murder for this capital offense, he was being brought back to stand trial. So they bring him back and keep him in a county jail with little Casey White, Miss Assistant Director, who was an exemplary employee. Perfect.
Those appearances were concluded. He was returned to the Department.
Okay, I think, let me get to the other stuff. So here's the wanted part. So it took me forever to find. I mean, this is not easy to find her wanted. And they got her at 145 here. Someone else has her at 160. I don't know what's going on. They got her hair blonde. I'm thinking that she's not a real blonde, but I could be wrong. Let's see. US Marshals locating Casey White or Vicky White, 56-year-old. White's wanted for aiding a prisoner escape. Okay? Tips can be given to US Marshal. Here's another wanted parcel for Mr. White. Casey Cole White, male, 38, 6'9", 260 pounds. This is a wanted poster, 260 pounds. Tattooed, shoulder left. Did you see the number of tattoos this guy have? He's got tattoos up and down. He's got a full sleeve, and the U.S. Marshal puts out a freaking wanted poster and says for tattoos, shoulder, left shoulder. Are you kidding me? This should say multiple tattoos, a full sleeve on his left arm, leading from his shoulder to his wrist. That's what that should say. What a shitty freaking poster. Here's the tattoo, according to the U.S. Marshal. Left shoulder. Really? Really, dude? This is the freaking left shoulder tattoo? Freaking, I'm telling you, man, law enforcement, I don't know who's doing. Anytime I did a wanted poster, I'd always have my partner review it and go, dude, read this and make sure I didn't fuck anything up because I don't want to put this out and look like an idiot. Because sometimes you type wrong, you hit a wrong key. Sometimes I'm working, multiple ones, and I put one description, or I don't change the date and the date of birth. So I want them to check it. Normally, my lazy ass partner, oh man, I trust you. You're more concerned about this shit than I am. I trust you, and they give it back. I'd be like, thanks a lot, dude. Somebody asks you to review something, review the shit. It's checks and balances. It's good. So here's the video footage of her picking up the prisoner. Pulling her little car in. Wow, look, she's got a cool little share car. Wow. Man, that's cool. She's the assistant director. Man, she's got a gun. This is really, man, look at her speed of handling. 56 years old. She's going to take out a 6'9" male by herself. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be all right. He could never escape. Walking in here, waddling in here. Maybe she got a stone in her foot. Rick, why are you picking on her waddling? La, 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 la. Yeah, I'm just going in. Yeah, I'm an assistant director. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Nobody has a problem with this. When I saw this, I was like, what the fuck is this? Are you kidding me? Who just saw what I just saw? You guys who've been watching my channel know what I just saw. Let me explain it to you. Nobody transports a high risk with prior escapes felony facing capital crime by themselves and lets the guy walk behind her. Holds the door open for the convicted felon murderer, violent guy that needs shackle and handcuffs, wearing a gun, she's probably right, exposing her gun, and holds the door open and lets him walk behind her. Are you freaking kidding me? Nobody looking at this goes, what the fuck is she doing? Are you kidding me? What? She needs to be on the opposite side where her gun's away with physical contact to this dude and doesn't let go of him till she gets him in the car. That's with two people. She's doing it by herself and walks in front of the dude. What? Nobody saw this as like, what the fuck is that? When I saw this video, I was like, are you kidding me? Is this the procedures that the sheriff was talking about? Oh, we have policies and procedures. Is this what we're talking about? Good job, sheriff. If this is your policy and procedure for escorting violent, murdering felons facing a murder capital crime, you got freaking issues. Look at this shit. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. Look, oh, by the way, this is the shoulder tattoo that the US Marshal says the guy has. So when you're looking for the guy, just ignore all this. He's got a tattoo up on his shoulder. So because you see all this, probably isn't the guy you're looking for. Because the guy you're looking for only has a shoulder tattoo on his left shoulder. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. The incompetence that I see with video is freaking amazing. Let me open the door for you there, darling. Hop on in there. Oh, ain't that nice? Yeah. You okay? Are you comfortable? The fact that she wanted to walk out in front of him immediately tells me, why the fuck is she such in a hurry to hold this door and get out of here? I mean, that was just huge for me. Watch how much of a hurry she's in. I got to get out. I got to go. Oh, my God. Hopefully not. Listen, let me go. I'll let me close the door. I got to go. I got to hurry. Let's go. I got to move. He's looking more calm than she is. Jesus, what an incompetent. Yeah, I don't know how this guy escaped. I mean, these guys really got a lot of policies. Sheriff said there's policies. They're promoting high-quality people to the second person in charge because of a bathroom they use. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of policies. Gee, I'm surprised this is the only motherfucker that's escaped. What? So this is a picture that they have on one of the news requests, and whoever uploaded it in such a shitty format that you can't even view it or read the information. They made it, the thing, I've got this on 200%. If I view it at 100%, this is the picture they give you on the website. Anybody read this? Oh, well, Rick, just blow it up. Oh, okay. I'll blow it up and look at the quality. Oh, yeah, I can read everything now. Great poster. It's 250%. I tried downloading it. I tried copying it to a different program. You can't read this shit unless it's at 100%. Then it looks good. Wow, that's a nice poster. Look how clear it is. Perfect. Freaking idiots. Here's another news article where they cover a little bit more info.
The guard transferring him to the court broke policy by not using a second officer. Casey White and the deputy.
We call that a clue. Gee, That's odd. We always use 2 people. I wonder why this person who's retiring today, who's got a relationship, the inmates have been complaining that she's giving this guy extra food. I wonder why she's transporting him by herself on her last day of retirement. No, nothing suspicious there. Shit. Ray Charles saw that shit coming.
Vicky White, no relation, have not been seen since. Casey serving 75 years for attempted murder, kidnapping, robbery, and burglary out of Limestone County.
Those some serious crimes. Burglary means he broke into a house to steal shit. When he was in there, he killed or homicide. He stabbed this woman a bunch of times when he broke into her house. Now he's free. Now this idiot, this outstanding, exemplary employee that was the director of this jail that totally ignores protocol and nobody calls her on it, now he's free. With her car, with her 90 grand she sold her house, and with her AR and shotgun and her sidearm, or her pistol, her duty weapon. Now they're both free. Perfect. Rick, that woman, she probably did better than you in the academy, and she probably knows more. And that's what I always hear. Every time I crack on these freaking idiots, people are like defending them. Because, you know, the pussy posse always comes out when you crack on quota hires and when they screw shit up.
WVTM 13 has learned he tried to kill his ex-girlfriend in 2015. He
tried to kill his ex-girlfriend. Well, shit, he sounds like a perfect mate. Hell, I'm going to retire and sell my house and be with this guy. He murdered another person, broke in a house, facing life in prison, and he's about to face the death penalty, and he tried to kill his ex-girlfriend. I love him. Rick, he's a good guy. It wasn't her fault. He manipulated her. He was really good. He was like Charles Manson. He did a spell on her. It wasn't her fault, Rick. Okay, whatever, you freaking idiots.
He also held 2 of her roommates hostage at gunpoint. Everyone made it out of that situation unhurt. White is also accused of killing someone else in 2015. And tonight...
Damn, this guy's when you're picking mates, has a strong, empowered female, this is like a freaking template. Somebody ought to make a checklist for strong, empowered females to pick a mate. What the?
We're hearing from her family.
And this is pretty shocking, I have to admit. But at the same time, if he doesn't happen to make...
He's a pretty tall dude. I mean, I'm telling you, this dude he's going to stand out in a crowd. He's going to have a hard time. Remember, he's got a little tattoo on his left shoulder, according to US Marshals.
If he doesn't happen to make to trial, I mean, he's definitely a threat to the public.
WVTM's Maddie Davis with more from the family tonight as the search for Casey White becomes more and more desperate.
7 years ago, Austin Williams lost his mother, Connie Ridgway, after she was brutally stabbed in her home in Rogersville.
My mother, she was just such a nice...
So this guy stabs little old woman with his size. That's why I always say big dudes usually are pussies. Look how big that dude is. And he stabs women that are old and helpless. Wow. That's a good dude. He's a good catch, man. I hope they live happily ever after. Oh, man. Hey, if you guys are out there watching this, can you invite me to the wedding? I'll bring a nice gift. I really want to see the wedding.
Person, kind of everybody's friend. This is the last person you expect anything to happen to.
For years, it was a cold case until 2020 when Casey White confessed to the crime. Cold case until 2020.
I thought I saw that shoulder on his left tattoo. Yeah, he's got that tattoo right up there. That'll help find him.
When Casey White confessed to the crime. As White sat in the Lauderdale County Jail, Williams felt there was justice for his mother and awaited the day he would go on trial. Now that hope is gone after White escaped Friday morning.
It's shocking, and it's just like you just wonder how it's possible because we really wanted it to go to trial.
Who hasn't been seen or heard from since.
Turn yourself in before this gets
Oh yeah, that's great advice, dude. They'll listen to that shit.
Any worse. No one else needs to get hurt. You need to turn your...
Everybody that escapes and knows they're facing life and death, they're going to just turn themselves in. Raise your hand if you think this guy's going to turn himself in. You freaking idiot! If you
turn yourself in as soon as possible.
Since Vicky White had a handgun.
Oh, the exemplary employee. Look, Rick, nobody's going to question her. She's the assistant director. She's retired the same day she takes out a convicted murderer by herself. That's no reason to be suspicious. Of course not.
And authorities assume Casey White is armed and dangerous. Williams has a warning for everyone.
Have someone like Casey, who's 6'6", 250 pounds.
Why are these guys escorting him with no cuffs? Are they letting him loose? Is this that he got out of jail? He got out of one of his charges because he pleaded insanity. Oh, that's another thing. Make sure you put that on the checklist for picking good men. Breaking in, stabbing unarmed women, trying to kill your ex-girlfriend, taking hostages their roommate and her. And let's not forget he's got tattoos. I can't remember that. But I forgot my damn point now. Shit.
Was coming to her apartment and stab her to death. That's the kind of person this is. This is the person.
Oh, and he's crazy. Put on there that he has to have mental health and he got out of crime because he pleaded insanity. Man, that's a great guy.
You need to look out for.
The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office will hold a press conference.
Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, we have policies and we have procedures. Oh, yeah, they're in place. Oh, yeah. She just violated him. Nobody fucking told her different because nobody ever tells anybody when they violate policy, which means nobody follows policy, but nobody can say anything. Yeah, I run a tight ship. Freaking. And, of course, you know, we always hire incompetence in fucking government. They can't do a page where it's in the center to where people can read it. I guess somebody doesn't know how to write code. I mean, I can even center shit on my page. It's not that hard. You put center, no slash. At the end, you put center closed. And you can have the whole thing centered. Maybe the US Marshals that are freaking so freaking good at doing shit could figure out how to put it. But anyway, I digress. Here's the shit about it. Here's the car they're supposedly in that they've dumped because they know his pictures every damn where. Here's the two lovely couple, the loving couple that's going to be married, 56. He's 38. I'm sure he just can't wait to, let's see. When you're in prison, though, any port in a storm. I mean, she's going to be like, he really loves me. He always wants to have sex with me. Really? Okay, whatever. So this is, I will give the U.S. Marshals a good thing here. Doing a doorway with somebody walking in. When you walk in and out of fast food restaurants, you always see there's numbers on the door. That's when somebody gets robbed. When a person walks out, you can look and get a reference on how tall they are. This dude is taller than most doorways. He's got a duck to go in a doorway, which is pretty important to remember. He's going to be sticking out. They have him next to this little car here. This is supposedly bronze. They're calling it bronze. It looks red to me, but they're calling it bronze. There they are standing next to each other. Where did they? I thought this was the one where they put he only weighed. Yeah, he's 6'9" and weighs 330 pounds. The other flyer says 220. So I went to US Marshal Tip app. Let's see here. We're going to go to the Tip app, and I'm going to give them a tip. Mobile device, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's submit a tip. Here we go. I'm going to submit a tip. In order to submit a tip in typical government freaking fashion, I can't just give you a tip. I have to put what country I'm in. All right, I'm in the United States. Now I have to know what state. Do they want my state or the state I'm reporting? I don't even know if this happened in Alabama, but I think it's an Alabama sheriff. So I'll pick Alabama. Oh, shit. Now I got to know what county? I don't know what freaking county it is. Are you kidding me? Let's just go with Montgomery, okay? And now I finally get to my tip area. Let's see what we have here. This tip form is exclusively dedicated to receiving information on wanted fugitive sex offenders and potential threats. All right. So let me give my tip to freaking who, what, when, where, and how. Shit, you ought to put this on the top of police reports or when you're interviewing. Maybe y'all could go to the Alex Baldwin detectives and put this on top of their freaking forehead. All right, description. One flyer has suspect Casey White weighing 220, and your other flyer has him at 330. Which one is it? I thought there was something else that they screwed up. Didn't I see something else? Why are you reporting this? So I can't just finish and send the tip. Why are you reporting this today? Because you're freaking idiots. Fugitive or wanted person. Date and time, offense, if irrelevant, known. No, I don't want to do that. How do you know this information? Because you put up the freaking stupid ass chart. Who else has knowledge? Every fucking idiot that reads your dumb ass website knows it. How did you hear about our tip line? Tipster information. Yeah, okay, we'll leave that shit blank. Person of interest. First name. See how hard it is to leave a freaking tip? Casey. What was his name? Casey Cole, I think. Casey Cole White. She was Sue. Peggy Sue or Vicky C. Last known description. Oh, their freaking tattoo. That's the other thing I want to put on here. Also, you put in description that suspect White has a tat on his left shoulder. Are you kidding me? He has a damn full sleeve of tats on his, I think it's his right arm. I think it's his right arm. It is his right arm. And I think they put left shoulder. Let me check that. Left shoulder is where they put it. He's got a full sleeve on his right arm. Are you freaking kidding me? They can't even get the arm right. They put out a flyer. He's got a tattoo on his left shoulder. This is his left and this is his right, unless somehow this video is magically switching. Holy shit, you guys are easy. On his right arm. What the fuck? Who made this flyer? Ray Charles? What the fuck? Let me see what else I gotta leave here. Vehicle associated, file upload. I wonder if I should upload a file so they freaking know that they're a fucking dumbass. You know what? If they can't figure it out, fuck them. I'm not a robot. No shit. I'm not a robot. I'm gonna go through all this, but you got robots out there going through all this fucking bullshit to leave a tip? Are you kidding me? Submit. Uh-oh, hang on. I got a warning. Terms of use. By submitting your information, you're agreeing to the following terms. Children under 13 must have a parent or legal guardian. Accepted terms. Provide no identifying information about yourself if you wish. Dude, does anybody think they don't know who the fuck's doing this? Does anybody think that if you leave a tip on this site that they don't know? They fucking know who's giving this. I don't think. I'm not even under the confusion that I'm being hidden. You guys are idiots. Somebody needs to check your shit. Do not use this form to make threats, cause harm, or provide false information. Intentional misuse, abuse of the system may lead to prosecution. Oh my God, they're going to prosecute me because I told them they're fucking idiots. The information you provide in this form must be correct to the best of your knowledge. It is. A deliberate false information. It's not false. Emergencies. This form should not be used for emergencies. Follow up. A code will be issued when you submit. That code is what you can check on your report status. I'll just check on a freaking flyer later, see if you dumbasses changed it. Submission and dispatch all utilize. Although we utilize physical, electronic, and administrative safeguards, including industry standards, due to the nature of the internet delivery system, we do not guarantee 100% security, timely delivery, or reception of submitted. So now they're saying we're so freaking incompetent, we don't even know if we're going to get your tip, but thanks for freaking playing. Are you kidding me? I agree. You guys are idiots. Incomplete. Please complete more. Oh my God. What am I completing? They're saying I didn't click the robot. Oh, it expired because I read it. I only have so much time. Submit. Let's see here. US Marshals. Click here if you'd like to chat and add additional information. I should fucking chat with these. Hey, who's the dumbass that filled out your freaking shit? Okay, here's my password and here's my code. Don't anybody go in there and start doing stupid shit. All right? We'll end that there. What a cluster.